All right, so dark chocolate. Boosting brain power, huh? Sounds pretty good to me. Too good to be true, maybe.
Well, we'll see.
That's what we're here to find out. We're taking a deep dive today into a scientific research paper and also an article, an overview article from Medical News Today, all about the health benefits of dark chocolate.
Yeah, it's interesting. We usually associate chocolate with pleasure, with reward, but there's this growing body of research looking into the cognitive benefits, especially the cacao polyphenols in dark chocolate.
Right. And this study we're looking at, they actually used fMRI scans to see what was happening in people's brains after they ate dark chocolate
Oh, wow.
while they were doing mental tasks.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so they had participants eat either a low cacao polyphenol version of dark chocolate or a high one.
Okay. Interesting. So 2 groups.
Yeah.
Did they find anything?
Yeah, so that's where it gets really kind of cool.
Okay.
The group that had the high polyphenol dark chocolate, they showed less brain activity during challenging cognitive tasks.
Really? That's interesting because you would think more brain activity would mean like more brain power.
Right,
So
exactly.
what's going on there?
Well, that's what's really interesting. What it seems to suggest is that the brain is working more efficiently.
Ah, so it's like it doesn't have to work as hard to get the same results.
Exactly.
Interesting. Like an athlete, a really well-trained athlete can make a difficult move look effortless.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So less activity, but more efficiency.
Wow, that's cool.
But before everyone runs out to buy all the dark chocolate they can find, there are a couple things to keep in mind.
Uh-oh. There's always a catch.
Well, research. It's ongoing.
Yeah, sure.
So this was a relatively small study. It was short-term.
Okay. Makes sense.
And they didn't see big improvements in the actual task performance, just the brain activity itself.
Ah, so there's potential there, but it's early days.
Right, yeah. But I'm curious because the study mentioned specific brain regions. They mentioned the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and the inferior parietal lobule.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What is the significance of those areas?
Well, those are really important for things like executive function and decision making, complex thought processes.
Oh, wow.
So the fact that those areas were operating, it seemed more efficiently after the high polyphenol chocolate, that's pretty interesting. I mean, it makes you wonder, could dark chocolate actually help us make better decisions or solve problems more easily?
Right. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Let's bring in the Medical News Today article now because it talks about other potential benefits of dark chocolate, not just for the brain.
Okay. Yeah. Like what?
Things like cardiovascular health, anti-inflammatory effects, even a positive impact on the gut microbiome.
Wow. The gut microbiome. It seems like that's connected to everything these days.
Right. It's amazing. And actually, the article mentions a study where they found a link between regular chocolate consumption and better cognitive performance over time.
Interesting.
But that study relied on, self-reported data.
Okay.
So not quite as rigorous as the fMRI study, but still,
Yeah. Yeah. It's another piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it's interesting. So these polyphenols seem to be, the key ingredient here.
Yeah, they're the stars of the show. And especially the flavonols, which are a type of polyphenol. They're like antioxidants. They protect our cells from damage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of research still to be done, to really understand how they work and what the long-term effects are, but it's definitely exciting.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like they protect our cells from damage, like those free radicals.
Oh, so like little bodyguards for our cells?
Exactly.
I like that. So these flavonols, how do they, get to the brain?
Well, that's what's really fascinating. They might be able to cross the blood-brain barrier.
Oh, wow. That's the protective shield around the brain, right?
Yeah, so once they're in the brain, they could, have a direct effect on the nerves.
Wow.
Even, maybe, possibly, stimulate the production of new brain cells.
Wait, new brain cells? From chocolate? Really?
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing possibility.
This Medical News Today article, it mentions that some studies have linked, eating chocolate regularly with better cognitive performance over time. Could that be because of, the new brain cells?
It's possible. I mean, more research is needed to really confirm that link, but it's definitely an interesting area of study.
It is. But, both of our sources here are more research is needed. What kind of research would be really helpful?
Well, we need larger studies, longer-term studies.
Yeah.
To really track cognitive performance over, a long period of time. Not just look at brain activity, but actual, cognitive benefits in real life. Like imagine a study where they follow people for years, track their chocolate consumption, and assess their cognitive function at different points. That would be really valuable.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
What about the type of chocolate? Does that matter? I mean, not all dark chocolate is the same, right?
Exactly. That's another thing we need to look at more closely.
Oh,
The polyphenol content can vary a lot
oh, okay.
depending on the cacao percentage, the processing methods, other ingredients.
Oh, okay. So it's not just about like grabbing any dark chocolate bar off the shelf?
Right. We need to be more specific. Like, imagine a study that compares a highly processed dark chocolate bar to, say, a minimally processed single origin dark chocolate.
Oh, that would be fascinating.
Yeah. See how those differences affect our brains.
It makes me think about like personalized medicine. Could we one day have personalized dark chocolate recommendations?
Haha, that's an interesting thought. It's not impossible.
Right.
As we learn more, about how dark chocolate interacts with our bodies, we might be able to tailor recommendations for, optimal cognitive benefits.
Wow. That would be amazing. Like you get a blood test and it tells you what kind of dark chocolate to eat.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so for our listeners who are like already craving some dark chocolate, what's the key takeaway?
Well, we can't say for sure that dark chocolate makes you smarter,
Okay.
but the evidence is pretty compelling. There seems to be a connection between dark chocolate consumption and improved cognitive function.
Okay, so what should people look for when they're buying dark chocolate?
Choose dark chocolate with a high cacao percentage, like 70% or higher.
Okay.
That usually means more polyphenols. And, don't just gobble it down.
Oh, yeah.
Savor it. Enjoy the flavor.
Right. Mindfulness.
Exactly.
Awesome. So, we keep talking about dark chocolate boosting like cognitive efficiency,
Right.
but what does that actually mean like practically?
Well, think about a time when you have to, really focus. Maybe you're writing a report or analyzing data or even like navigating a tricky social situation.
Right.
Your brain's working hard, right?
Totally.
Processing information, making decisions, solving problems.
Yeah. That's where the dark chocolate comes in.
Exactly. What the research seems to suggest is that if you've had some dark chocolate, especially the high flavanol kind, those tasks might feel a little easier, a little smoother.
Oh, interesting.
Like your brain can process information more quickly, switch between tasks more easily, and maybe even resist distractions better.
So it's like what? Like giving your brain a tune-up
Haha, yeah, I like that analogy.
makes it run smoother and faster.
Exactly. And the best part is it's delicious.
Right. It's not like, some horrible medicine you have to choke down.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I'm getting a little bit of a chocolate craving myself right now.
Me too.
But I remember that first study we talked about, the one with the fMRI scans.
Yeah.
They mentioned something about the LFHF ratio, something about the autonomic nervous system.
Oh, right, yeah.
Can you remind me what that's all about?
Sure. So the autonomic nervous system, that's basically the control center for all your automatic bodily functions,
Oh, okay.
like breathing, heart rate, digestion.
Right.
And it has two main branches, the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight response, and the parasympathetic, which is rest and digest.
Okay.
So the LFHF ratio, it kind of reflects the balance between those two branches.
Gotcha.
And in the study, they saw an increase in that ratio after people ate the high polyphenol chocolate.
So what does that mean?
It suggests a shift towards more sympathetic activity, so maybe a little boost in alertness and focus.
But didn't we also say that those same people showed less brain activity during the tasks? Like a more relaxed state?
Right. It's interesting, isn't it?
It seems kind of contradictory.
Yeah, it just shows how complex this all is. Dark chocolate might have multiple effects on the brain, maybe even working on different systems at the same time.
So it's not just about like calming the brain down.
Right. It's about optimizing its performance in this more holistic way.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
This whole deep dive has been amazing.
it has.
We've gone from like, oh, dark chocolate, yummy treat to, wait, it might actually help our brains work better and our gut and our nervous system.
I know, it's pretty incredible.
I'm definitely going to be looking at dark chocolate differently from now on.
Me too.
And I hope our listeners are too. Maybe indulging in a little bit of dark chocolate is one of the tastiest ways to support our health. So until next time, happy snacking, everyone.